In 1960-61, you won the Lancashire Cup, beating Swinton 15-9 at Wigan, scoring a try. And when you talked earlier about the pay, I noticed in this match you were paid £40 winning pay. How did they vary that winning pay?
Well, like I said, in my contract it says the player will be paid £9 for a win. But it's a discretion of the directors to decide to give you a bonus. All depends where you play, the occasion, if it's a cup final or a cup round, the opposition you're playing against, they can up the bonus as much as they like. That's why that particular day must have thought that, I think £40 was a good wage for that particular game.
Yeah. In comparison, what would you earn, say, if you won the cup at Wembley?
Like I said earlier on, we got £200 for winning the cup at Wembley, and fortunately I was one of the fortunate ones. I never lost at Wembley, so I couldn't say if they were going to pay me losing money, or which I think would be very unfair to get that far and get £5 type of thing.
And it was in 60-61 season that you played Wigan in the Challenge Cup final at Wembley, and how did that game go, especially one of your tries that you scored? How did the game go in general?
Very well. I think since Wigan made a mistake, as far as I can remember, and look, it's a long time ago, they sold their hooker and they had to come with a makeshift hooker. I think, I'm getting confused with the 61 and 66 sides, but I know at one of them Wigan didn't have a hooker. And I think that's where the big difference started. And obviously Murphy, Alex, then just took over and he controlled the game, which he could do. And I think even today, I mean, if you look at Alex's record, wherever he's gone, he's made a success of it, either as a player or as a coach, or a player coach. He is blessed with the insight of rugby, and he knows how to read a game. I was just there to run.
Yeah. He told us in his interview that he went to St Helens as a 14-year-old after school to do training, and Jim Sullivan early in his career used to sit him in the box at the side of him and explain to him, you know, what should happen in different parts of the field, if and when, and all this, and that gave him a great insight into the game.
It will do, yeah. He was fortunate to be just out of corner from Knowsley Road, really, and Jim Sullivan was that type of person that will do that.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier on when I arrived, Jim took over and answered all my questions. Now he will do that in the interest of rugby and of the player. I came over here as a novice. I didn't know the game, and I had to play my first game within a week after arriving. Even in the dressing room before we went out, they were still showing me how to play the ball properly. Yeah. You know, and it is just come into a new game, or a new country, anywhere it's new. It takes time.
Yeah.
Because the week after my first game, we played away. The first I played away against, I think it was Whitehaven, Featherstone or something. And Jim said, no, you're not going, you're playing in the A side. And I played in the A side that Saturday, and Saints drew a crowd of 8,000 or 9,000 people.
Yeah.
So I think that paid for my airfare. So,
but of course, you just needed game time, really, to catch up. Because there were a lot of similarities between the two games, but it's the differences that make the difference.
You know, I think I made it more difficult for myself. If you come to look at the wings job, there's no difference.
No.
Even they took throwing the ball into the line out away from the poor wing. The hooker does that. So what is a wing there for? To score tries. And fortunately I had the ability to score tries, and I like covering, I like to cover. So that's one of the better positions to come from union to league, is on the wing. I think the other position is far more difficult. I wouldn't like to be a scrum half or a forward. in league coming from Union. I think that's one of the reasons why I immediately became a bit of a success, because there was very little difference between my play in Union and my play in league. There was one goal, and that was to score tries.
Did you find that one of the big differences was the ball being in play more in rugby league than it was in Union?
Not so much the ball being in play. What I did miss was the line-outs. We used to stand, and you can have a nice movement from a line-out, and that was now obviously gone. But ball being in play, I love, because that's what I want to do. I want to handle the ball. I want to, many a time, which on our side, Bobby Dagnall, the hooker, usually go as acting halfback. But a lot of times I went as acting halfback. I just wanted to get there and get the ball. Yeah. So having the ball in play suited me.
Yeah, so you'd come inside and take some weight off the forwards
Yeah.
when they were tiring a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that is also maybe one of my problems today with my injuries, and I always fought to stay in play, because especially in those days, like I said, possession was everything. We could carry the ball for the whole game if you don't drop it, and if you go into touch, the forwards didn't like it, and I used to fight and stay inside. Yeah. And I think that was I know my teammates appreciated that. Yeah. And the spectators appreciated that, but it didn't help me in later years. When you turn 60, I don't mind getting old. There's a pain that comes with it. Yeah. After I've turned 60, I've had 6 back operations. Mm. I had a knee replacement. I had a detached retina. I had 4 ankle operations, which they now fused my ankle. And yeah, it's a lot of injuries coming. Like I said to my wife the other night, you go to bed and there's nothing wrong with you. You wake up the next morning, you've got a pain. Where does it come from? You're lying. Yeah. But that is coming with, and I do believe rugby league is a far tougher game than Union, and people don't realize that. Okay, they've done away with the stuff arm tackle. Yeah. But in my day, it was very rampant, the stuff arm tackle. We played a cup game, I don't know what round it was, we played against Vollenhoven at St. Helens. And I know it was just starting to snow a bit. And I went down the wing, and a bloke by the name of Ramsden, I think it's Peter Ramsden, I'm not sure. He came across and he stiffed on me. I was concussed. Sir Alex came onto the rushed in and kicked and hit this bloke. Coming to my defense, they both got sent off. I was concussed, I didn't know what was happening. But the point I'm trying to make is that they didn't lose a tactical bloke in a position like Alec. We could control the game. They can still afford to lose me on the wing. They can put somebody there that's equally up to the task. But at standoff or scrum off, he controls everything. But he got now sent off, and we actually lost that particular round.
Yeah, because some did use it as a tactic, not necessarily in that situation in that game, but some did use it as a tactic to try and get the key.
Well, it's funny,
player off.
Previous time I was out here, Billy Boston and I, we had I never had trouble with Billy. He just knocked my teeth out once. But we were friends, and today we're still friends. And I said to him one day over a pint, I said to him, "What was your team talk like in the dressing room?" I said, it was quite simple. He said, when we played St. Helens, he said, Murphy, Rhodes, Vollenhoven, take them out. In other words, crop them, get them off the field. He said, and yours? I said, we said there's Boston, Ashton, Brian, get them off. Yeah. So it's more or less, how can you can motivate, yes, Jim Sullivan could motivate.
What kind of motivate? He wouldn't be a threatener, would he, Jim? How did he motivate you?
he could instill. I don't want to compare him to a Hitler, but he can work you up.
Right.
You listen to him, and when he's finished, you want to get out there and play. He was one of the, but you know, he was very knowledgeable. I think he went on 3 or 4 rugby league tours to Australia, and he was a big man for a fullback, I believe. He played.
Yeah. Great kicker of a ball as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
And that is the type of person you need. And otherwise, you go in the field, you have plan A. If that doesn't work, there you need a good captain. Just change it to plan B. But if you haven't got that, you run around like bloody hit the sheep. It's like we've got in the Super 14, my team I shout for, I personally don't think we've got a captain. And if things doesn't come off in the first few minutes like the coach planned, they throw in the towel.
And they wait until half time.
They can't change.
Yeah. But that's a sign of a great player and a great team.
Yeah.
That they can react to what's actually happening, not what they thought would happen in the game plan before the game.
Fortunately, I was in the fortunate position. My first captain was Alan Prescott, which I thought was a brilliant captain. Then Vince Corelius was a good captain, led by an example. And after him was Alex Murphy. And like I said just now, Murphy has got a very good insight of the game. He knows the game. I think he can feel what is going to happen. I was captain of the team for the last, but I will be quite honest with you. I don't think I'm a great captain, or a good captain even. I think they made me captain just to give me say honor me for the last 2 years and say, okay, thank you very much for your service and bye.
Yeah, yeah. I think with Alex, it kind of seems that he was born to be a rugby league player. And
well, he was born to be rugby league, even in management.
Yeah.
Coaching. I believe he was chairman of a club. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. I think he was chairman of Lee or Warrington. Or
Yeah, Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, he was not only born to be a great player. He was born for rugby league.
Yeah.
To either play or manage.
The one thing with him was he was always a bit controversial.
Well, which is not a bad thing.
No.
I think you have to be.
But did your team ever say to Alex, you shouldn't have said that about them last week, we've got to play them?
And you know what his reply will be. If you get more people like him and Eric Cantona that can jump over the fence and kick somebody, I think it's good.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, they bring the crowds in. Sometimes
Yes.
to watch him get thumped, hopefully, this kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think stiff arming was a little bit more accepted in your days?
It was totally accepted.
Yeah. How far did you have to go before they sent you off?
Like I said, when Ramsden hit me, he got sent off because Murphy went in. I don't know if Murphy didn't go in and thump this bloke, I don't think he would have been sent off. And I was totally concussed. So I really don't know. But now, obviously, today it's outlawed,
Yeah, yeah.
which is a good thing.
It is.
Because I went to the doctor in South Africa and he said to me, were you in a car accident? Or were you in an accident? I said, yes. Sometimes twice a week for 11 years. And he was looking at me, and he kept, and they kept me, what did you mean by? And I said, no, I played rugby league and we had stuff. I said, now I understand.
It's what you're getting is the results of the build-up of being hit all the time at rugby league, and the last thing you want is neck trouble.
That's it.
With stiff arming all the time, so they'll get away with that a bit these days.
Yeah.
But they're still getting these. I mean, the impact when you take somebody new to rugby league, you become so used to it, you don't realise the impact involved. But when you take somebody new and they stand there open mouthed at two forwards colliding, and one person described it to me like two JCBs crashing together.
That's correct.
Yeah.
You know, and I was. Jim Sullivan gave me a pair of shoulder pads. I tried it, and I played with it 10 minutes and I went off, I took it off. And for 11 years I never played with shoulder pads. And I can see now, or feel, maybe hindsight, I should have persevered and got used to it.
But again, it's young men. We none of us thought anything about that kind of thing when we were younger. We just
No.
got stuck in at whatever sport you were in. You just got stuck
That's
in
right,
and never
yeah.
thought about it. And now you have your regrets as you limp about.
Yeah, and it's, like I said earlier on, it's no fun getting old.
No.
Or being injured or pain.
But you've a lot of great memories, you see, to back it up. It's like I'm looking now at the record that you were the first person to top the try score in 3 years on the trot as well. I think you got 50, 59 in 1960. You know, these are kind of figures now that they probably average about 25 tries a season, the top scorer. They may be spread slightly more over the team, but that's what they do now.
Yeah, but also you must bear in mind, like I said earlier on, there was no 6-tackle rule.
Yeah. And no substitutes either.
No substitute. So you had the opportunity to do, if you had a good pack of forwards like we did, and a good scrum off, good standoff, good send. Yeah, you know, okay, I know I'm blessed. I scored all those tries, but I had the mates inside to help me score it.
Yeah. Yeah, all the great wingers had that, didn't they?
Yeah.
You needed that. Looking at your record as well, in 61, 62, you played twice for a Rugby League 13. You beat New Zealand 22-20 at White City Stadium in Manchester. Who did you play with on that occasion? Who were the players in the team with you?
I think Brian Bevan was on the other wing, and I think Lewis Jones was my centre. No, Dougie actually played that particular game.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about Bevan. It's always you, Bevan, Billy and Mick Sully that are always talked about. How good was Bevan? Did you play against him?
Yes, I played against Brian. He was a scoring machine. I mean, his record will never be broken. I mean, he scored so many tries. He played so many games. I don't think he liked to be tackled, but he made sure he scored tries. And if he sees the opposition is waiting for him, he'll run to touch. I don't blame him. What I'm going through today, I think I could have done it more. but surely he could score tries. He could score tries from any distance.
Yeah.
And I think personally his speciality was running onto a loose ball, running onto a kick. He scored a heck of a lot of tries like that. But he was obviously one of the greatest.
Yeah. And it was no size either, was it really? It was another...
No, you know, when I played at Rugby League 11, Rugby League 13, he used to go to the dressing room an hour before we did, because he used to tape every finger, every toe, his ankles, his knees. It took him an hour to get dressed. And, you know, one day I said to Dougie, I said, the man is a freak. I think all that plaster is holding him together, but by God, give him the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of the top wings.
And the second match you played for the Rugby League 13s was against France at Parc des Princes. And you played, which sent strange reading it, under rugby union laws regarding the play of the ball on that match.
I can't even remember that. I know we went there and we actually beat them. And I know the kickoff was very late. It was 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
I can't remember the rules.
No. And you scored a 75-yarder in that as well. I think that was your last representative match.
Yes, I think so. And I knew I played against a big Frenchman. He had thighs like this, and I thought that if I must tackle this bloke, he will just run right through me and break my bloody neck. Yeah. But I did score a good try against him.
Yeah. Was that the Bison? Was he nicknamed the Bison, that winger?
I think it could be.
Yeah. I think Billy talked about having to...
Oh, he was massive.
Yeah. Another thing that stood out for me, in 1962 you were invited to join Wakefield Trinity on a 6-match promotional tour of South Africa.
Yeah, actually South Africa approached me. I wanted to bring the St. Helens side out. And I spoke to the chairman and he said, no, we're too busy. And then obviously they went for Wakefield, was willing to go. And Wakefield took me and I don't know, there was a few guest players for the way, and the chairman gave me permission to go. So we went, it was like a exhibition tour, really.
Was it good playing in your home country?
Yeah, it was nice to play again in the country, and we got quite a few. Well, I think the crowds came to see the South Africans that was in the side. I think there was about Freddie Griffiths, Eddie Brophy, myself, Jan Prinsloo. There was 4 or 5 South Africans in the side, so the interest were there.
Yeah. And did Wakefield take the majority of the first team with them?
Yes, yeah.
Did Neil Fox go? And
No, Neil didn't go. I think he was involved with the Great Britain side.
I think he toured in 62 or 63.
No, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But Don Vine was there, and Freddie Smith, and all. I remember them being in the side.
And what was people's reaction to the matches in South Africa?
Some, to be quite honest, some liked it very much, and they reckon it was fast. But we couldn't, the South African Rugby Board was then very much rugby union orientated, and they wouldn't give us the grounds because most of the grounds belonged to the town councils. So we had to play in showgrounds and things like that.
Yeah.
But it was all right. It was enjoyable. It was nice to be home for a change and see the friends, family and friends.
On your return in 62 from South Africa, Saints had signed Len Colleen, winger and goal kicker, another South African.
Yeah, Lenny comes from a place called Port Elizabeth, which is right down at the coast. That's about nearly 1,000 miles from where I was. But Lenny was a good sportsman. He was a good he could have played basketball for South Africa. He was a left footer. He could kick. I think in 66 we got a penalty in our own half, and he said he's going to go for the pole. And Laurie Gilfeather still went and said to him, he said, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" He said, "I'm going to kick a goal," which he did. And I think that just put Wigan on the back foot again. Mm-hmm. They never recovered.
Because the pair of you dominated the Saints scoring for about 5 years.
Yeah.
At that time, so you're both fairly prolific scorers. Did he score as many tries, or was it mainly his goal kicking that scored the points?
No, he scored a lot of tries. He scored some good tries, but his goal kicking was phenomenal. We didn't have this around the corner kick. He was still a straight on kick. Yeah. And for a wing to kick that distance, like I said, from his own half. And like Gilfeather said, as the ball went through, he was still climbing. So, yeah, he was a good win.
And it's still a good kick now with the latest boot and ball technology. In those days, the ball was so heavy.
Heavy, yeah.
Yeah, and the boots weren't anything near as good as they are today. Yeah. So it's quite a kicker. Up to 65, you won various Lancashire Cups and Lancashire Leagues, but none of the major trophies. But in 65, you lost the championship final to Halifax, 15-7. Do you remember that game at all?
Not really. I know we didn't get any further. It's only in 66 that we made another appearance in the big. But I thought we might have won the league. And then there was a top 4 playoff and all that things. I don't know. But the Lancashire Cup, yes, we won. I think I've got 6 Lancashire Cup medals.
Yeah.
And Lancashire League, I've got a few. And then I think in the 11 years I was here, I got 20, correct, 21 medals.
Yeah, yeah. Because in the 60s, of course, I think Wakefield were fairly dominant as well, weren't they? There was yourselves, Wigan and Wakefield.
No, I don't think so. I think Wakefield came in after that.
Did they?
No, I don't think Wakefield was a heck of a force.
I think they went to Wembley, was it twice?
Yeah, well, look, if you play a Challenge Cup, anything can happen in a warm-up round type of thing. Yeah, you can. Yeah, but I think they went to Wembley and then won it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I never had. I think one of my best games was against. I think I scored 6 tries against them.
Yeah, yeah. You did that a couple of times, didn't you?
Yeah.
6 tries, you equal that's still the record at Saints,
Yeah.
is it? 6 tries.
I think Martin O'Fire might have equaled it or done something, or
I-
Les Jones, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, he did at Wigan, didn't he? Scored
Yeah.
10, I think, in one game. But Wigan was so dominant then, being full-time professional.
Yeah.
It was slightly easier, should we say. In 65, 66, it was a good season, actually, for yourselves. You won the Lancashire League, and you won the Challenge Cup, beating Wigan at Wembley. That was the 21-2. Was that the one where they lacked the hooker and Alex was going
That's
offside?
right.
That
That's
was
right.
it, wasn't it? 65, 66.
Yeah, and we actually, I think we bought that hooker. I think it was Bill Sayer,
That's right, yes,
and he
it
played
was.
for us.
Yeah. And Alex said that their then hooker got seriously injured, so they
That's
had to
right,
bring
yeah.
somebody in that couldn't hook. So Alex stepped offside the whole game, and they altered the rule due to Alex's tactics. They altered the rules. Instead of giving you another scrum, they gave a penalty or a kick
Yeah.
to touch. Yeah,
Like I said, Murphy is clever.
the thinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can work out the situation, that's for sure.
Oh, you also that year beat Halifax in the Championship final, 35-12. I think you missed the game through injury.
Yeah, I think Tony Barrow played in my position.
Did
Even, I think the 61, the 66 final, I don't think I played in the semi-final. I was injured there as well.
he? Yeah.
And I played in the final.
In 1967, you lost the replay of the Championship final to Wakefield at Swinton. That's when you skippered the side in
Yeah.
at that time as well.
Yeah, I remember lifting the cup. Like I said, I wasn't, me personally, I don't think I was a captain. But just to, I think, to honour me, they made me a captain. And that's a great moment, winning a cup. It doesn't matter what cup it is. And to lift the cup up, yeah, it was one of my highlights.
Yeah, yeah.
And my last game was against Warrington, I think.
Yeah, you skippered them 1967-68 Lancashire Cup. You skippered them when you beat Waddington as
That's
well in that. Of course, 68 was your testimonial year as well,
Yeah,
and you received a record £2,800 for your
That's right.
testimonial year. So it showed how much the fans appreciated what you'd done.
yeah. No, I think St Helens, like I said earlier on, they were very good to me. St Helens crowd. That's why I love them with a passion. And I will always talk well. I can never ever say anything bad about St Helens.
That's good.
That's why I'm still wearing the St Helens t-shirts.
And to finish off really your career in this country, it was a very unusual thing, but you were invited to play for the Great Britain World Cup team in a warm-up game against Halifax.
Yeah, we had the rugby league at the secretary of Bill Fellowfield. And I think Bill was sorry that I didn't want to relinquish my South African citizenship. And when I think that Great Britain side was going on tour then, and they were having a warm-up game at Halifax, and they asked me if I would like to play in it. And obviously it was great to play with the Great Britain side, yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually played, and they gave me a Great Britain tie. He said to me, I can't give you a jersey, but at least yes, a Great Britain tie.
Yeah. That's a great gesture, really. It shows
Yeah.
how they appreciate what you've
Yeah.
done over so many years in this country. But you were right in not changing your citizenship. They do it now for convenience, don't they?
That's
a lot
all.
of athletes.
I mean, if you take the Kenyans, great athletes. Oh, we had a swimmer in South Africa. The Emirates offered him 20 million to come and swim for them.
Yeah.
And he turned it down. And I said to my wife, I wonder who has made up that. Because you can't turn down 20 million, I'm sorry. Nobody can.
No.
So, I don't believe that he didn't get, it wasn't compensated from somebody else in South Africa.
Yeah. So did you return home after that 68 season to South Africa?
Yes.
Did it feel strange after all that time?
I remember we went back by boat. And my wife cried the whole boat journey, she cried. Yeah. It was difficult settling down again in South Africa because now we've got used to the British culture, especially Lancaster. I still call St Helens Lancashire. It's, for me, Merseyside. I don't know why they have to change the names like that, but anyway, it was great to be here and to go back. I think for a year or what, we were really miserable.
Because it was a big chunk of your life at that time, coming over at 20.
We started our married life here. We started our family here. We had, apart from rugby friends, I had friends outside the game. Which a few of them has passed away, but I've still got a few, which I'm hoping to see over the next few days.
Yeah, okay. And what did it feel like when you were inducted into the Rugby League Hall of Fame?
You know, if my legs weren't so sore, I think I would have sprinted across because they inducted me. They gave me the medal at the Old Trafford.
Right.
I think there was an international game. Was Australia yet playing then?
What year was it?
I think it was 76.
Yeah, probably be Australia.
Or 77. I don't know, around about there. And I remember Boston. Billy gave me the medal. And this bloke just hugged me and because it was three of us got inducted that day. It was Vince Corelius, Millwall, and myself. And Billy gave me because I was a wing. Because Alex Murphy I think gave Millwall his medal.
Right. Yeah.
Because Billy, like I said, that particular time. When I came over with the Wigan side, they invited me. Billy really looked after me.
Yeah.
And he and his wife, they were terrific towards me.
Yeah, yeah. A nice man as well, Billy. Really nice man.
Also, I don't know, you interviewed him. At times, when there's a crowd, I think he was very shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People said when we talked to him that we might not be able to get him to talk to us really, but it was great. We were both nervous though because it was my first interview, and he was nervous at the interview, so we both sounded nervous.
Well, let's face it, it's your job, and we're not used to that. To come here like 49 years after I first came to England. To be interviewed on, like I said, in South Africa at that stage we didn't even have television. Yeah. And now, to remember all those things, it's a long time ago.
We've asked everyone really, with the period that you played, who were they? Can you list for us the great players that you played with, and the great players that you played against? And
if I must list the great players I played with, you can take the whole St Helens side. We had so many internationals. The whole front row. But first was Alan Prescott, Abe Terry, Tommy McKinney, and then Dick Huddard, Natty Silcock, Vince Corelius. I mean, that is a whole pack of internationals. Yeah. Murphy, Austin Rhodes, Dougie, they're all internationals. I had I was fortunate enough to play one game with Steve Llewellyn. Stevie was a right wing for St Helens for many years. When I came, I saw Steve standing on the left wing. But I played left wing for South Africa, so I thought, no, I'll go. And he said to me, "What are you doing here, Tommy?" I said, "But Steve, you are a right wing." I said, "No. I've given that position to you now." That was his. He was no animosity. No, he said, "No, that is your position now. You go." He was also a great person. And Glenn Moses. I mean, that's a whole. I was an international rugby union player, so there was a whole team of internationals. You take Wigan, Brian McTeague, Collier, Ashton, Alan Davis, Greenhoff. There again, it's a team of internationals.
Yeah, and A lot talk about McTeague possibly being the greatest prop that Britain's produced, because he was a ball handling prop as well, even though he started, I think, as a winger like himself.
I wouldn't know. I don't want to comment on forward play, but if he must have been very good if he was better than Alan Prescott.
Yeah, because there was this big divide between forwards and backs then, wasn't there? There was none of this, second rows were playing centre and centres playing second row and things.
Well, they tried Dickie Harrod 1 or 2 games to play centre.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
No, because he was such a great second rower.
Yeah.
You see the films of him playing for Great Britain, bursting down the centre of the field all day, which you don't see now.
Another international I forgot about is Ray French. He played both codes international.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, you can if you sit down and write them all down, you'll have a list that long.
Yeah, you're in a unique position really, being a great winger who had to sit on the sidelines most of the time when the Aussies were over playing Great Britain and the New Zealanders. Who had that kind of wow factor for you in the Australians and the New Zealanders at that time?
Well, I can't remember the names. The only ones that stands out is Reg Gasnier, and it was his centre mate that put me in the dentist chair when we played, St. Helens played against them. But I don't know the other names, I'll be quite honest with you, but I remember Gasnier's name stand out. He was a brilliant centre.
Yeah. Everybody says, all the other greats say so.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
He was one of those who could also read the game. He's never put him near Alec.
Yeah. Would you say Alex was the greatest rugby league player you've seen for his overall game?
I'm not going to commit myself on that. He was one of the best, yes.
Yeah.
In South Africa they also have a thing that they pick a player of the
millennium or
the millennium, the century or whatever. I don't like that type of thing.
Mm.
I think when I came over here in 1990, they picked 20 players. And they said to the spectators, now you pick your player of the... Let the spectators pick their own.
Yeah.
But for me, for the committee or whoever sat down in South Africa to pick Graham Pollock, which was a great left-handed batsman, as the cricketer of the century, and Frick de Pre as the greatest rugby player of the century. For me, they were good, but there was other players equally as good as them, and I will not say he was better than that. No, I think it's rather unfair if I made comment on it.
Tommy, it's great to see you in England again. Hopefully you'll come back more often. Because the reaction we've had when we've said to people we're going to interview you has been tremendous.
Well, Les, it's very nice of you to say that, and it's very nice to be here, and it's nice to meet you, gentlemen. And like I said, I'm getting old. I don't feel old, I'll be honest with you. I feel, if it wasn't for the old
aches and pains.
Well, it's actually just my ankle really that they fused. My knee is a beautiful, successful operation.
Yeah.
Yes, I would love to come back, and meeting people like Mike and his good lady. I would love to bring my wife also. I wanted to bring her this time, but I didn't know. She said to me, "You're going to be too busy, and what am I going to do?" Because Mike's wife has also got her own job. She's busy. And apparently, especially staying here, not in St. Helens where she has friends. So we decided now, I'll come by myself.
And taking into account the aches and pains, as we say, if you had the chance, would you do it all again?
All over again. I'm pleased to be part of history of rugby league. And I think why I say that, if you get inducted to the Hall of Fame, you are part of history.
Yeah.
And my record proves it's like Bevan's and Billy Bones. It's there. No, they can't take that away from us. And for me, that's history.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would want to take it away from you, Tom, because the reaction to
Look,
everything.
records is there to be broken, yes, fine.
Yeah,
But my try-scoring record has now stood since 1959. And like I said earlier on, the way the game has changed, the rules, it couldn't stand for another 50 years.
yes, it could.
Because they don't get the chance to break it. They haven't got enough ball to do it.
No, it's shared too evenly now in
Yeah.
matches. Anyway, Tom van Vollenhoven, thank you very much for coming along today and talking to us. It's been great.
Thank you, Les. It's great to be here.